Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So we're going to proceed with our help-desk management system. So as you can see, we have our recent tickets that we've just created. Then we have the tickets section. So this is the module for tickets. We have add new ticket. So you can actually provide the title, the description, the status, the priority, and you can select the category. If it's hardware, then you're able to get the subcategories for the hardware. Then you can add it. So the same case, if you add a new ticket, the description, the status, the priority, you can also say maybe software, then this actually changes based on the category. So if you select hardware, you see here we have the hardware categories. If it's software, we have the software categories. So if you add it, then you're able to see all these particular lists. Then you also have the ticket comments. You can add a new comment, you provide the description, and you can tie it to a ticket. So if you create, then you're able to create the comment. We have the ticket categories. You can add a new category, as you can see. Then we also have subcategories. You can also see the ticket within the categories. You can see the subcategories of the tickets. For example, hardware, you see all these as the subcategories. You can also see the all list of subcategories, as you can see. Then you have the audit trails. Everything that you are creating, the system is able to track with the action, the module, the affected table, the timestamp, the IP address, and the user who actually created. Then you have the users within the system. You can add a new user within our application: first name, middle name, last name, gender, email, phone number, city, country, password, and even you can provide the username. So what I want us to do today is I want us to change our tickets. You can see we were adding the title, the status, the description, priority, the category, and the subcategories. So I want us to ensure that our statuses and the priority are actually a drop-down option, so we don't allow users to actually provide those particular information, like to choose the priority and the status. We can actually allow them to choose the priority, but the status should be assigned by the system. So what we need to do is we need to create the options whereby we'll be defining those particular categories and ensure that we have all the options defined. So what I want us to do is I want us to create a model. So I'll just go to our models. I want us to create a model for our codes. So here we are going to create a system code. So here I'll just do new item. Then we are going to create here system code. So this system code will be now grouping our codes, like the statuses, the priorities, so we can actually group them. So I'll just do public int, then ID, then you can do that. Then you can also provide here the code. So here I just do string, then you can do here the code. Then I can also have here string, then you can do here the description. So this is our system code description. Then the next model that I want us to create is our system code detail. So this is where now we are defining the actual values. So here I'll say system code details. So detail. Then on our system code detail, we'll now need to have our primary key. So we'll do public. So let me zoom this. Some of you guys are saying you're not able to see the details. So I'll do ID. Then we can do that. I'll try to zoom. So the next thing that we can see here is we need to also have the code. So I'll just do string. Then I can say here code. Then I also want to have the description. So I'll do string. So sorry. So I'll do here string. Then this is the description. Then the next thing is I want also to provide, so we can actually do here the way we want it to order. So we can do maybe order number. Then after that, we need to tie this system code to our code. So we'll need to link this to our code details. So I'll say system code ID. Then this is a foreign key that we are actually getting them from the system code. So I'll say system code. And you can say here, this is the system code. So once we have that, then we should now be in a position to create our tables. And remember, for us to create this, we need to actually add this to our application DB context. So I'm going to have these on our application DB context. So I'll add them here. So here we will have the system code. Then we can say this is system codes. Then that is the database, that is the table name. Then I'm going to also provide another one called the system code details. So here I now see system code detail. Then here we'll do the system code details. So after that, we know what we need to do next is to add migrations. So I'll just add migration. So I'm going to clear this. So I'll do clear. Then you can add migration. So we'll just say system codes, press enter, then our migration will be created. So if you're new to this channel and you're following this series, remember to subscribe, like our video, comment down below. And in case you need the source code, you can always claim the source code. And if you feel you want to buy us coffee, use the link down below to buy us coffee. We'll appreciate if you provide hot coffee. That will be really amazing. So after that, we are going to update our database. So we are going to update our database. Then these will now create these tables, the system code codes and the system code details. So after that, we can now proceed and create these options. So if everything goes well, you can see it's done creating our tables, and you can see it has created the table system code details with the foreign keys. And also we have our system code table with the constraints for that particular table. Then, so after we've done that, we can now scaffold this. I'm going to scaffold the system code. So I'll just do a new scaffolded item, MVC controller with views using Entity Framework Core. And I'll choose my model. So I'll choose my system code. Then our controller name will be system codes controller. So if you add, it will actually scaffold our system code controller with all the views and actions with all the codes that we all need. So since that is scaffolded, then we'll go ahead and scaffold for the system code detail, and we can ensure that we have all the codes. So that will be really amazing as we proceed and do everything with this project. So you can see we have the system code controller with all our actions. Then the next thing is we can scaffold for system code detail. So I'll just say new scaffolded item, MVC controller with views using Entity Framework Core. Then I'll choose here system code detail. Then if I add it, it will actually scaffold as well that particular controller. So if you're following our channel and you really like what we do, comment down below. And you feel you want to actually help us grow and support our work, you can always buy us coffee, subscribe to our channel, which goes a long way in ensuring that we provide more videos and we actually do better in terms of our video quality and the rest. So this is our system code details, controllers, we have everything there. So we can always link this. So if we go to our shared layout, we can now provide the links to our system code. So I'm going to add that particular option. So I'll just say here. So this will be our system codes controller, system codes. Then this will say system codes. Then we can also have another link for system code details. So this will be, so you can actually check on the controller names here. So this is the controller name, we can rename. Then if you paste here, you just remove the word controller. Then it's actually taking us to index. Then you can say system code details. So when we now launch our project, we should now be able to access these particular sub-modules that we've just created. And you can see it is a very simple process of creating controllers with all views without a lot of hassle. So you can do that. And this will actually help you create a whole project without actually taking a lot of time. So we are actually, so you can see, so let me just zoom in. So this is how our project looks like. So we now have the system codes and the system code details. So if we click on the system codes, you can see it takes us now to the index page. Also for the system code details, it takes us to the index page. So we can actually make our table looks a bit better. So let's take what we have on our tickets or even on our comments table. So I'm going to copy these styles. So I'll just copy this, go back to our system codes. This is it. Then here I'm going to replace with this particular style. Then I'll say this is system codes. So I'll just do system codes. Then you can say add new system code. So this is our create button, system code. Then if you can see, this is our table. We need now to close all these actions. So we'll do that, div. So you can also do div here. Try to format our project, you see. So this needs to be closed. Try to format it. So this is actually closed at the top. So we have everything closed. Then as you can see, we have our buttons. So we can actually borrow our buttons from the comments as well. We want these particular buttons. So let's just copy that. So it's easy as we are going along. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, but just reuse all the buttons. And this is how it looks. So we have the create. So we need to remove this. So we have the details, edit, delete, and view. So here we can also borrow from what we have on our comments, headers. So just take those headers and have them here. So you'll see we have the view, edit, and delete. So we can also do the same for the system code details. So I'm going to copy this, go to our system code details folder, then under index, we are also going to replace this. So then you will say system code details. So then here we say add new system code detail. So that is our button. So then we have these particular options as well. So we are also going to close the divs. Then I'm going to copy this, paste it here, then format. Then we have this. So you can see this is formatted. Then under index, I'm going to borrow all this here. Then under index, I'm going to paste this here as well. Borrow the buttons. So instead of writing all the classes, you can just take them and paste them here. So these actually now help us to move faster. So as you can see, everything is well aligned. So on the system code, instead of displaying the ID, we can actually display the description. So that is it. So that will give us the description of our system code. So if we try to launch our app, we now will be able to see that our tables and the details looks a bit better. So we should now be able to create a system code and the system code detail. But before that, I want us to modify our model. Then I'll show you what we need to change. So if I just sign in, I'm going to sign into the application. So if we go to system codes, you'll see the table. This is how our table now looks like, and our system code details. This is how it looks like. But now remember our models. So if you go to our model, we have the system code, but I want us to always ensure that we are tracking the person who created it. So we are going to inherit some properties from our user activity. And the same case, we are going to inherit it for the user activity as well for our system code details. So I'm going to say user activity. And remember, this now will have modified our table. So we need to add these properties to our table. You know what we need to do? We need to add migration. So I'm going to say NuGet Package Manager console. Then I'm going to clear this. Then what we need to do is to add migration. So I'll say system codes user activity. So this will add now all those particular created by, created on, modified by, modified by, modified on, I mean. So it will add all those fields. So here you'll say activity. So if we press enter, it will actually add these particular fields that we have them on this particular class, that is the user activity. You see we have the created by, created on, modified by, and the rest. You can see it is actually adding the columns, and all these columns will be added to our table. So the next thing is to update the database. So I'll do update database, press enter, then our database will be updated with those particular columns. So after that, then we can be able to check some of the items that we need, like so you can see we have, so introducing, this is an issue. So let me just clear this, and we are going to remove this migration. So we'll just do remove migration. So if you do remove migration, it will actually remove the recent added migration. So because of the error that you are getting, we are going to do something with our, so it has removed that. So just go to our own model creating model builder. Then I want us to do something here. So let's go here, then do here system code detail. Then you can say here system code. So then here we'll say system code ID. So if you do that, then we are good to go. So let's now add our migration. So we'll remove, so we'll clear that. Let's add the migration again. So once you add this, it will create that particular migration, and we are going to update our database now without any challenges. So if you do that, then run update database. So you can use the arrows, that is the down and upward arrows, to just pick the commands that you had already typed. So you don't need to be typing them again. So as you can see, that is it. Everything is now complete and it's okay. So after doing this, remember on our project, you have been tracking the audit trails. So you see this particular code, we need to ensure that we are actually tracking the activities that you are doing. So under our system codes, under create, we can actually remove this binding. We remove that binding. And here, we can always add this particular, we can always add this particular, so this is actually, yes, so you can always add this here before doing anything. So you can add that. Then you can say this is create user activity. We need to ensure that you are taking the user who is logged in. So on our tickets, you'll note that you're actually getting the logged in user, and you can see we have these details here. So before you actually create the system codes, we need to append some details to our system code. So we need to tell our project the person who created. You see the created on and created by. These details need to be appended. Then the user activity, and we need to tell the table that was affected. So I'm going to copy this, and our table name is actually system codes, and this is actually system codes as well. So then it will take all this action when it was created and everything. So I'm going to remove this because we are not using the view models. So I'll just remove that. So that is it. Then we can also do the same thing to our edit. On our edit, can also add this particular. So we say that, and we can say update, and we can get the user who is actually logged in. Can always do that. But now for the edit, we are not modifying created by. Here we are now doing modified on and modified by. So that those are the users who actually do that. So these are the fields I mean that we need to be updating. So the same case you have done here, we should always do the same thing to our system code details. So if you go to system code details and the action, we should always remove this. So I'll remove this. Then I can do away with this. This one, sorry, I'll do away with this one. Then after saving the changes, we can save our system, that is audits. Then we also need the person who is logged in. So I'll just borrow what we have on our system codes create action. Then under our system code details, I'm going to add all this. So you see here now we are dealing with our system code details. So I'll change this, and we can always have the created on and created by. Then this is a system code details table. So we need to provide the table here, and you can also do the same thing here. So then this will update our tables and save the details. The same thing we need to do with our edit. So you can always do away with this, do that. Then if I just add this here and add this, then this one will be modified on. So modified on, and this is modified by. So after that, we need to now add also our audit logs. So you can always do that. So all this, you can have it here. Then you can say this is system codes, this is system codes, and you can say this is update. So you can say update. Then after doing this, we can now proceed and try to create our system code. So let's launch our project. So if you're following this video and you like what you are doing, please subscribe to our channel, comment down below. And in case you want to support us, you can use the link down below to buy us coffee. And you can also claim this source code. So if you claim it, then you'll be able to get this particular source code and you can always build the project as you want. So you can see this is how the project looks like. So if you go to system codes, so this is the system code. If you add new, this is how it looks. So if I just say here status, so you can also say system ticket status. So these are the system ticket status. If I create, you can see we have our system tickets already created. We can also add another system code. We say priority. Then you can say system tickets priorities, system ticket priorities. So if I create, you'll be able to see we have the status, priority, and all these are the options that we now have. If we go to system code details and add new, you see it is actually telling us we provide the code description status and we need to show the system code that we are tying them to it. But now you see it is displaying 1 and 2, but we want to show the users the description. So here, I'm going to choose this to description. So we want to display the description, not the IDs. So I'll do the same here. Then our create action, we do the same here. So if we just launch again, so I'll have to restart the application. If I just update our application and relaunch it again, then we should now be able to choose our system codes, now displaying the description instead of integers. You cannot actually tell when you are using the numbers. So that's why we are changing that. So if we go to system codes now and try to add, you'll notice that we now have the description. You see, we have the system tickets status and system tickets priorities. But here, I want us to use the status. So you can say pending, then you can say pending ticket, then you can say this is the first one, and these are the ticket statuses. So I'm going to have system ticket status and create it. So you can see we have the pending status, and these are the tickets. So you can say here maybe awaiting. We can say if you assign pending, we can say awaiting assignment. So you can say ticket awaiting assignment. So you can say this is awaiting an assignment. Then you can say this is the second one, and that's the status. So if you do that, you can say ticket assigned, assuming our ticket will be assigned to an individual. So we can say ticket assigned. You can say this is the third one and this is the status. Then if our ticket is assigned, then you can say in progress. So you can say in progress. So you can say ticket resolution in progress. So you can say that is that maybe the ticket is being resolved. So then this is the fourth one. If we save that, then you can now say again, you can say maybe the ticket is resolved. Then you can say here ticket resolved. Then you can say this is the sixth. So if you do that, then you can say maybe ticket it has been resolved, or it has been, you can say escalated. So you can say ticket is escalated. So you can say escalated. Then you can say this is the fifth one. We had actually jumped the fifth one. Then if the ticket is resolved or it has been escalated, we can say maybe we can say reassigned. The ticket has been reassigned. ticket reassigned. So you can say this is the 7th one, and you can. So that is how we are creating the statuses. So you see all this information. So you can actually we can actually display the date it was created and the user who is created. So let's go to our system codes. So let's start with the system codes. So in our system codes, we can actually borrow here. We can say created by and created on. So here you'll say created by. Then you can also have created on. So you can say created on. The same case, we can actually provide the data here. You can say created by and created on. So I'll just do here created by ID, and here you can say, so you'll do created by ID, and you can say here created on. So I want you to see something. If we launch this particular project and go to system codes, the created by and the created on will be displayed, but the created by will give us an ID, and we might not be able to tell who is that person. So we need to be able to tell within the interface the person who actually created that particular ticket. That is options. So if we go to system codes, the system codes, you'll note that we have the created by, and it is actually displaying the unique IDs of the users. So to display the names here, we need to do a small modification. Let's go to our controllers under the system codes, and we can now, instead of doing here, so I'll just do here, I'll do variable system codes equals to that. Then if I just close this, then I can return. So I can return my system codes here. Sorry. So I'll do return view with our system codes. So for me to display the names of the users, I'm going to do dot include. Then I'll just do x is equals to x dot created by. This will give me the user details. So the same case, I'll now go to my system codes. I'll go to system codes, and instead of created by ID, I do created by, then dot full name. So this will now give me the person who created that particular system codes. So if I relaunch, then I'm going to see all the details of that particular system. That is the particular user. So that is how you do that. So for those who are following this video and it's getting more interesting, like the video, comment down below, and let's share. So if I go to system codes, I'll now be able to see that Jacob Mwangi is the person who is actually logged in. So if I create another system codes, for example, I want to get the gender. So I'll say gender, and here I'll say gender. So this is how you group the options. So if I create it, then you can be able to see now I'm having the options of that particular user. The same thing to the system code details, we can do it. So let's just go, we can copy this. Then if we go to system code details, I can now add this to my options that is here. And you can see here, this one should be created by, so let me just do this. And I can say this is created by ID. That is our header. And also we have the created on. So if I do created on, then I can also do here the system.created, sorry, the created by ID. So I'll say created by, then I'll provide the full name. So if I provide the full name, the same thing I'll do with the created on date. So I just do here created on. So that will give me the date. So I'll do away with that. Then remember, to get the created by and full name, we need to actually join in a join. So we need to go to system codes, and on our index, you can always do, so we'll say variable. So this is system codes details equals to that. Then we can do here, let's do await. Then I'm going to do that. Then I'll do here dot include system code, and also we can include the user who is actually created. So they say s dot created by. Then we can now do dot to list async. So you can do to list async. So if we do that, I can now return my view with this. So I'm going to replace that there. Then everything will be fine. So if we just relaunch our app now, we'll be having our system codes created by and created on dates appended to it. So that is it for what we had planned to do today, just providing the options of created by and the created on. So the next video will entail how now we need to link these options to our ticket. So if we go here, you'll see we have the ticket system codes, created by, created on, then system code details. We now have you see the created by and the created on, and you can see the order of the tickets of the options. So I'm going to leave it there for today. For our next video, we are going now to ensure that our ticket here, system, the statuses and the priority are actually tied to our options, which are actually these ones, and even the statuses. So user should not be keying in the statuses, but the system should be providing the status automatically. The same case we have been doing with the category, whereby you choose and the subcategories are already pre-populated. So if you like this video and you like what we do, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and see you in our next video. Bye.